LuoFeng. The entire dojo spectators, along with the over 100 million galaxies watching the broadcast, all cheered excitedly. With regards to LuoFeng and Rong Jun's advertisement, the Virtual Universe Network had many pieces of information, analysis etc. Many warriors were analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of these two. The Nan Shen Armament was naturally discussed too, hence many of the spectators knew how difficult it was to unleash. LuoFeng unleashing one golden blade was already invincible, and now he actually unleashed two at once. It was too intrepid. Ah. The savage youth let out a low growl and took a step forward. With a single step he was a kilometer away. Rumble. Rumble. Bringing with it an energy wave, the two golden rainbows followed and attacked. Break. Savage's expression was fierce. He slashed like lightning towards one of the golden blades. Dang. The moment it struck, the blade slightly changed direction. At the same time Savage immediately turned, borrowing the force of the collision to swing his blade. Dang. He blocked the second golden rainbow. Chi. Fresh blood was spat out. Savage retreated 2 steps, his face slightly pale, his eyes however burning with a strong fighting spirit, communicating, LuoFeng, the two golden blades are powerful, however, you are splitting your attention to control 2, each golden blade only has about 90% of its original power. 90% power, combining the two, if you block it once you'll be considered powerful. I'll see how many times you block it. In mid-air LuoFeng squinted, communicating, again. Ha 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 ha. Savage suddenly laughed loudly, simultaneously fiercely swinging the blade in his hand. Shio. The blade in his hand became a blur, almost like a hidden weapon, shooting straight at LuoFeng in mid-air. LuoFeng creased his eyebrows, one of the golden blades in mid-air became an arc and blocked, with a dang. The blade was immediately knocked away and landed on the distant arena. What is he doing? The spectators in the dojo were in an uproar. A fighter throwing away the weapon in his hand? Almost like a fighter cutting off his own arm, there was simply something wrong with his brain. What happened? Why did he throw away his weapon? This savage wants to admit defeat? That Madman Luo Feng from the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, the moment those two golden blades appeared, this savage knew he couldn't beat him, hence he admitted defeat. It's not strange at all. Are you admitting defeat without fighting to the death? The audience was in an uproar. There was silence in the arena. Floating in mid-air, Luo Feng frowned, looking coldly at the distant savage on the ground. Even though he hadn't interacted much with this savage, the simple conversation, the clash of willpower, Luo Feng was very sure. This savage before him had absolute confidence. Even if he lost, he would fight to the death. There was no way he would admit defeat. Savage stood in the arena, the corner of his mouth still had traces of blood, but his eyes were gleaming, laughing loudly. The internal selection of the Ganwu universe country, I've never cared. My bottom line is to enter the top 1000 in the universe. My true goal is to be number 1 in the universe. Luo Feng was shocked. The 1 billion people in the spectator stands were shocked. The countless humans in the over 100 million galaxies watching the broadcast were all shocked. At this time, countless people in the Ganwu universe country were shocked. Number 1 in the universe? His bottom line was to enter the top 1000? This was a competition between large amounts of universe country geniuses. On average, each universe country didn't even have one person. He actually dared to say his bottom line was to be in the universe's top 1000 and his goal was to be number 1 in the universe. This couldn't even be called simple arrogance. Simply madness. Within the arena. Luo Feng couldn't help but be shocked. The savage young man on the ground flipped his hand and a new saber appeared in his hand. It was a pure black giant saber. It was obviously 2 sizes bigger than the previous blade. I didn't expect that just to get a slot in the Ganwu universe country would force me to take out the earth-splitting blade. Savage's entire aura changed. Wielding the huge blade, he seemed to have become a savage god of war, causing Luo Feng in mid-air to shout, "Whatever moves you have, take them out first." Rumble. 2 golden rainbows slashed over. Haha. Savage laughed loudly. Immediately, 2 savage youths appeared in the arena. These 2 silhouettes were rushing over with terrifying speed. What? Luo Feng, who was controlling the 2 golden blades, was shocked. This spirit reader controller was most afraid of not being able to confirm his target. These 2 savage youths, one of them is definitely fake. However, with a sweep of my spirit energy they're both real. How can that be? It was very easy to create an illusion. In truth, for a warrior like Luo Feng with his shocking movement speed in the eyes of Earth's normal humans, they would only produce a series of images, almost like a body illusion. And in truth, no matter how fast he moved, he was still one person. With a sweep of his spirit energy, there was nowhere to hide. Arc light. Arc light. Luo Feng roared within. The golden horn beast studied 2 great techniques, one of which was absolute space. Absolute space's first level arc light. The moment one mastered it, one's movement would cause space to warp, creating the effect of having 2 bodies. Absolute space's second level. Infinite changes. The moment one mastered it, one could even create up to 10,000 bodies within a certain area. Absolute space's third level. Teleportation. At this level, one would be invincible within the undying level. Even Luo Feng's teacher, the master of the Yun Mo planet, hadn't reached the teleportation level. Even amongst the generations of golden horn beasts, there were very few that could do it. This technique was actually a technique for one's comprehension of the space laws. If one comprehended the space laws, they too could reach the arc light effect. The body would follow a strange arc and explode with speed, creating the effect of having two bodies. And the instantaneous speed was shockingly fast. Virtual universe, Ganwu continent, within the huge floating island structure. Many huge thrones, the great beings were still very casual before, however at this time. Space origin laws. It's space. And his comprehension is quite high, not any weaker than his comprehension of the Earth origin laws. He can actually distort space and create a cloning effect. This punk. Our Ganwu universe country hasn't produced such an absolute genius in so many years. Crazy, this punk is crazy enough. No wonder he dares to say his bottom line is the universe's top 1000, his true goal is the universe's number 1. His comprehension of the Earth and space laws are so high, and his domain has even reached the 9th level, just who nurtured this absolute genius. These great beings were all shocked. Because if a universe-level warrior could step through the gateway of the origin laws, he would already be considered an extraordinary genius. However, those geniuses belong to the universe system level. And people like Nabini and Hong belong to the starfield level. LuoFeng, who could unleash one golden blade, belonged to the universe country level. Unleashing 2 golden blades meant he was the top of the universe country geniuses. As for Savage, Earth and space comprehension at the same time, and his comprehension was quite deep and he was just a star-level punk. This was simply heaven-defying. It belonged to the entire universe humanity-level genius. And he was one of the top. Arc light. LuoFeng, who had been studying absolute space with all his might, immediately understood what was going on. Go and die. LuoFeng was in mid-air, pointing at Savage and shouting. Boom. 2 golden sword rainbows shot towards one of the Savage youths. Looking at it with the naked eye and using psyche power, one could see that there were 2 Savage youths. However, in reality there was only one person. It was only because the space around him was distorted that it created a mirror-like effect. Haha. Savage laughed loudly. He wasn't afraid of the 2 golden blades at all, rushing straight at LuoFeng. Crack. In the distance LuoFeng roared. LuoFeng has always been researching absolute space, so he was very clear about the power of the first level. Because he was clear. LuoFeng knew that even if he shot out 2 golden blades, they would still be dodged. The most important thing to do now was... crack. The 2 golden illusory swords instantly split into 18 small golden swords and shot out in all directions. It instantly disintegrated and shot out. Instantly, 2 small golden swords struck the savage young man's body. Although they were weaker after disintegrating, they still destroyed his movement technique. Die. LuoFeng rushed down. Simultaneously, the 2 soaring shuttles beside him shot out 2 golden lights that became 2 golden fishes, disintegrating the golden blades, unleashing the swordfish formation. At the same time, the 2 golden fishes shot at the savage youth whose movement technique was destroyed. What? Savage was shocked within. This movement technique of mine from the space origin laws, my instantaneous explosive speed is shocking. If his golden blades were slightly further away, I would be able to easily dodge them. If it was 2 or 3 golden blades at close range, it wouldn't be much. After all, there were a total of 18 of them. It completely affected his speed, destroying his movement technique. Chi. The 2 golden fishes had already reached before him. Dang. Dang. Savage's huge blade slashed out. Almost as though space itself was being suppressed, he slashed the 2 golden fishes away. After which he raised his blade high and slashed at LuoFeng. Go. Savage's blade slashed down. His domain and space origin law comprehension combined, completely suppressing LuoFeng. Die. LuoFeng roared. In the distance, the 18 little golden blades swiftly formed 2 golden blades behind Savage's back. As Savage slashed at LuoFeng, the 2 golden blades had already shot towards him. Sensing the danger through his domain, Savage didn't flee. Instead he roared, go and die. Peng. The blade was as fast as lightning. LuoFeng held the shield in his hand. He felt as though he was smashed by a huge mountain. His entire body rumbled and he lost consciousness. Peng. After slashing, Savage tried his best to dodge. He had already missed the best opportunity. Under the inertia, one of the 2 blades brushed past his body. The other pierced through his chest, creating a bowl-sized hole. His internal organs ruptured and fresh blood spurted out. Dong. Savage landed on the ground. Fresh blood flowed from the hole in his chest. He was like a heavily injured war god. However, he stood there staring at LuoFeng's corpse. At this moment, after the 2 golden illusory swords disintegrated, the 18 small golden swords fell from mid-air and smashed into the arena. Clang. Dang. A series of crisp clashing sounds resounded throughout the entire arena. The 1 billion people in the arena were silent. Looking at the 2 absolute geniuses in the arena. One stood there. One lay down. Savage stood there silently, looking at LuoFeng's body on the ground. LuoFeng. Savage muttered, my plan before was to defeat you and then kill myself. However, your strength far exceeded my expectations. If I don't use my full strength, I won't be able to defeat you. Compared to the high-intensity rotation battles that aren't challenging and only serve as training, defeating you is more important. And when you go all out, I can't defeat you without killing you. Savage recalled the scene from before, still shocked. This LuoFeng's reaction was too fast. According to his expectations, the moment he unleashed his full strength, Earth and space origin laws exploding, Just the space distorting and two bodies appearing would cause Luo Feng to panic. Even if Luo Feng used the golden blades to attack, he would be able to dodge them, and then he would immediately get close and slash down. Luo Feng wouldn't be able to block it, naturally he would be heavily injured. After which he stopped and chose to kill himself. Everything would be very easy. However, what actually happened was completely different from what he had imagined. The moment his movement technique exploded, Luo Feng chose the most lethal attack. Two golden swords instantly disintegrated and shot out at an extremely close distance. 18 little golden swords collectively shot out in all directions, covering the surrounding space and directly destroying his movement technique. At the same time, the two golden fish attacked. The two battled. During the battle, Luo Feng controlled the 18 little golden blades to swiftly form the golden blades and shot at Savage from behind. Chain after chain. From the moment I unleashed my full strength to the end of the battle, it wasn't even 0.1 seconds. The golden blades broke apart and shot out to break my movement, using the soaring shuttle to attack and then the golden blades to counterattack, and the timing was extremely precise. If he had hesitated for even a moment in between, giving me an opening, he would have been finished. To be able to think of everything in a short 0.1 seconds and execute it perfectly. Calm. Absolute calm. Savage looked at Luo Feng's corpse, filled with respect. I can't be as calm as you. Indeed. Luo Feng and Luo Hua were both extremely calm people deep in their bones. And on Earth, Luo Feng had experienced countless life and death situations, especially when he took over the golden horn beast, he thought he was going to die. This experience allowed Luo Feng to remain calm no matter how dangerous it was. And the golden horn beast bloodline also affected him. The golden horn beast's specialty was being cold and bloodthirsty. Coupled with the cultivation of the mental state taught by Big Brother and Second Brother. In terms of calmness, amongst the hundreds of geniuses from the Ganwu universe country who had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws, Luo Feng was number one. In fact, the Earth trio were all very impressive. In terms of becoming one with the world, and empty mind, Luo Feng can't compare to his Big Brother and Second Brother. And if he was absolutely cold and calm, his personality along with the influence of the golden horn beast bloodline would already be comparable to Earth's ancient records of Hong and Thunder God who had trained their temperaments to the highest level. Hong and the God of Thunder had cultivated to the highest level of Chinese culture and Indian culture purely based on their temperament. Luo Feng's mental state was weaker than them, however he was still much stronger than the other geniuses of the universe who didn't train at all. Adding on the influence of the golden horn beast bloodline, in terms of calmness, he could catch up to his Big Brother and Second Brother. Congratulations Rong Jun. A loud and resounding voice resounded throughout the entire dojo, and thanks to Luo Feng, the two of them have given our Ganwu universe country trillions of citizens a spectacular battle of the pinnacle. This is definitely the most exciting battle of this genius battle so far. However, there will always be a winner and a loser in a battle. This battle Rong Jun wins. Rong Jun has also received a spot from our Ganwu universe country. He has the right to represent the Ganwu universe country and compete against the geniuses from the other universe countries. Let us all wait and see. Rong Jun in the many universe country geniuses battles, obtaining even higher honors. Rumble. The 1 billion spectators in the dojo were all cheering, some cheering Rong Jun and Savage, some cheering Luo Feng and Madman. This battle was definitely more exaggerated and exciting than what many of the spectators had expected. Luo Feng's explosive power made many think that this battle would be Luo Feng's victory. Who would have thought that Rong Jun would be so sick, actually splitting his body into two, and the final battle was even more intense. Luo Feng was dead, Rong Jun was heavily injured. Virtual universe, Ganwu continent, within a large palace. Within one of the large palaces, close to 1,000 youths were gathered, all looking up at the screen before them. On the screen, Luo Feng and Rong Jun's battle had just ended. Amongst you, some have already received a spot. Some are about to participate in the fourth battle. Below the screen, a tall and sturdy green-horned one-eyed man roared, "You are the most exceptional of our Ganwu universe country's younger generation. Many of you think you are amazing. Look at the two of them. All of you think about it carefully." After saying that, the green-horned one-eyed man walked out of the palace. Within the palace, the group of youths all had complex expressions on their faces, ugly. Stronger than me, both of them are stronger than me. A handsome cat-eared youth shook his head. That madman, two golden blades. I can't block them. Too strong. He can actually unleash two golden illusory swords. I can barely unleash one. These two. I still have some confidence in that Luo Feng. That Rong Jun, according to teacher's evaluation, has comprehended the space laws, that movement, that blade. A tall and sturdy 8m tall, like a savage giant youth muttered softly, constantly shaking his head. The floating island in the air above the Ganwu continent, within that huge building. On the densely distributed thrones, great and eternal existences were discussing the battle that had just taken place. How long has it been, our Ganwu universe country's genius battles? How long has it been since such a level of battle happened? It was 300 over years ago, back when General Tai was still a star level 7, his battle was comparable to this one. Right, 300 over years ago. In the blink of an eye, close to 2 million years have passed. My battle back then could barely compare to this one. 1.89 million years have passed, I've become undying. However, my opponent back then wasn't any weaker than me. It's a pity that when he became a domain lord, he went to the foreign battleground to train and fell. A powerful metallic voice resounded. The path to undying is incomparably difficult. There are many dangers along the way, and the number of geniuses that have fallen has long been uncountable. The geniuses that have fallen can mostly only be called geniuses within a galaxy or starfield. And people like LuoFeng and Rong Jun, these two punks, these absolute geniuses, their chances of falling are much lower. That's true. If it was in the Ganwu secret region, these absolute geniuses would definitely be highly valued, to lower the chances of them falling. However, if it's in the virtual universe company, there are too many absolute geniuses there, the competition is even more intense, the elimination rate is even higher, the number of geniuses falling would be much higher than in the Ganwu secret region. What they need are true absolute warriors. This time, this Rong Jun will definitely be ranked number 1 in our universe country. And the universe's top 1000 is definitely not a problem. As for whether or not he can make it to the universe's top 1, the chances are very very low. Making it to the top 10 is still possible. Right. Rong Jun is our Ganwu universe country's number 1 genius. LuoFeng should be in our Ganwu universe country's top 10. That punk LuoFeng is very calm. I have high hopes for him, so calm, the chances of him falling in the future will be lower. LuoFeng still didn't know that the Ganwu universe country's group of undyings were evaluating his and Rong Jun's strength, he was still thinking about the battle from before. Nimble. LuoFeng's consciousness returned to reality, within his own study on Earth. My nimbleness is still not enough. Spirit Reader controllers riding spirit weapons are originally meant for long-distance battles. The moment a fighter gets close, that's just courting death. LuoFeng creased his eyebrows. As long as I'm nimble enough, that Rong Jun can't even touch me, at least I'll be invincible. The space origin laws, I haven't even touched the door yet. However, training in absolute space for a long time, my body's instantaneous explosive speed has risen. LuoFeng thought, when I return I'll need a flying spirit weapon that's most suitable for me. As for the soaring shuttle, it's ultimately still a hodgepodge, it's not specialized enough. He had to reflect on every battle, this was a habit he developed when he was a student in the Dojo of Limits. After LuoFeng reflected for over half an hour, he entered the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay Little District. 30 You've only returned now. Where did you go after the battle? Thunder God was waiting on the grass outside LuoFeng's villa, with Su Xan and a large group of people. Daddy, you're too powerful. Little Hai and Ping Ping rushed up and hugged LuoFeng. Big brother, you fought beautifully. Luo Hua revealed a look of glee. Right now the entire Ganwu universe country is shaken, countless people are discussing you too. Go to the Virtual Universe Company's website and take a look. Many are leaving comments, saying that you and that savage are definitely the strongest geniuses of our universe country. It's all crazy outside. Su Gang nodded and exclaimed, brother-in-law, you lost the battle. However, the entire Black Dragon Mountain Island is as excited as if you won. Indeed. Actually, many people in the universe couldn't understand the intricacies of LuoFeng and Rong Jun's battle, but because the battle had just ended, Rong Jun had already been recognized by a large group of sector lords, even some undyings, as the number 1 genius of the Ganwu universe country. And he was the strongest genius in the past few hundred years. The number 1 in the past few hundred years? This battle was naturally hyped up and heated. Rong Jun and LuoFeng's fame immediately rose. Where's Big Brother? LuoFeng asked curiously. Big Brother there, he's at his house. Thunder God pointed at Hong's residence in the distance. About 10 minutes after your battle, the founder of the Three-Axe Mountain, known as the Time Sector Lord Luo, arrived. Time Sector Lord? Big Brother? LuoFeng's heart skipped a beat. Hong's residence, the living room. A white-haired old man sat there opposite Hong. You don't regret it? Luo looked at Hong. If you leave with me, you won't be able to return for over 20,000 years. Hong gently nodded, his eyes were calm, without a hint of hesitation. Can you tell me why you suddenly decided to take me as your master before the deadline I gave you is up? The Time Sector Master, Luo, looked at the Earth youth in front of him with interest. Is this related to the arena battle that just ended with your third brother? Hong nodded and sighed. Yes, this battle woke me up. I didn't think that in the blink of an eye, the gap between me and third bro would be so big. He knew LuoFeng was strong, but he didn't expect him to be this strong. If I continue to be so stubborn without a teacher to guide me, I think the gap between me and third bro will only get bigger and bigger. I'll be left further and further behind. Hong shook his head and smiled faintly. Actually, it's not just third bro. I can also feel the pressure from second bro. Ever since he received the inheritance, his strength has improved significantly. Yes. The Time Lord Luo smiles and nods. It's good that you know the pressure. How about this, you get ready and then we'll meet up in a spaceship. I'll give you a day to say goodbye to your family. Hong nodded. Not long after Light Sector Lord Luo left, LuoFeng and Thunder God came looking for him. You're here. Have a seat. Hong pointed at the 2 seats beside him. Big brother, what happened? Thunder God stared at Hong. Then why did the founder of the Three-Axe Mountain organization, the Time Ruler, suddenly come? Didn't I give you 10 days to consider? You still have 2 to 3 days to consider. LuoFeng looked at Hong too, he couldn't help but feel nervous. I'm looking for the teacher, Hong said. Teacher? LuoFeng and Thunder God's expressions changed. You've really decided to leave with the Time Realm Lord? Thunder God hurriedly asked. That'll be 20,000 plus years. What concept is 20,000 plus years? The recorded history of our Huaxia culture is only 5,000 years old. We're going to leave Earth and leave for more than 20,000 years. This is simply... Can't we still meet in the virtual universe? Hong smiled. It's different. Thunder God shook his head. LuoFeng looked at Hong's expression and couldn't help but ask softly, Big brother, have you decided? Hong glanced at Zhang Xian and nodded. Indeed. Once I leave, I won't be able to see Earth for over 20,000 years, I won't be able to see my home, I won't be able to smell its air. LuoFeng looked at him. Since I've embarked on this path of pursuing the peak, what else can't I give up? Hong shook his head. My children have already married, and I have nothing to worry about. I can also see my children in the virtual universe. As for my hometown, the place where I was born and raised, I'll keep it in my memories. Where there is gain, there is loss. After my wife died and my children got married, the most important thing in my life was martial arts. Roaming the universe, seeing the myriad wonders of the universe, pursuing the pinnacle of life. I like that kind of life. Hong's eyes glowed with a strange light. In the vast universe, there are as many experts as there are clouds. My goal is to stand among them. Not only that, but I also want to be the most outstanding and the strongest. LuoFeng and Thunder God exchanged glances, feeling their big brother's absolute confidence and desire. To be able to achieve high achievements in the martial Dao, one must first have this kind of absolute desire, only then would they be able to work hard on their own initiative. Second bro. Third bro. Hong turned his head to look at the two of them and couldn't help but laugh. You two should be happy for me. What? Both of you have inheritances, and you're just going to watch big brother cultivate in seclusion alone. Ah. Thunder God was stunned, after which he laughed loudly. Big brother, well said. Me and third bro have our own inheritances. You two follow the time sector lord. Let's compete and see which of us three brothers will be stronger in the future. Let's compete then. Hong laughed too. Big brother and second bro, I'm currently in the lead. LuoFeng laughed. You better be careful and maintain your advantage. Otherwise, your second brother and I may catch up in the blink of an eye. Hong looked at LuoFeng. Thunder God too said, Right, third bro, your big brother and I didn't have a good teacher to teach us at the start. Now that we have a teacher to teach us, our powers immediately soar, and your big brother's comprehension is extremely high. Even more so for me. Hence third bro, you better be careful. If you have the ability, come and chase. LuoFeng laughed loudly. The three brothers of Earth laughed loudly. However, unknowingly, the corners of their eyes began to moisten. Milky Way, Earth, Asia continent, Hongning headquarters city. China time year 2066, July 27th, evening 5 p.m. The sun hadn't even set and the sky was bright red. A dark blue disc-shaped universe ship floated in the air above Hongning headquarters city. The entire upper echelon of the dojo of limits and Hong's own family were all gathered here. After bidding farewell to his family and friends, this super warrior Hong, who had a special position on Earth, finally flew into the universe ship alone. Goodbye. Haha, don't be like that. We'll meet again in the virtual universe. Following his loud laughter, Hong flew into the universe ship. Rumble. The universe ship fiercely accelerated and rushed into the sky. Big brother, have a safe trip. Thunder God stood in midair, he couldn't help but shout. Similarly standing in midair, LuoFeng looked up at the leaving universe ship, muttering, have a safe trip. On this day, year 2066, July 27th, Earth's absolute genius, the pinnacle warrior Hong sat in a universe ship and left his home. This trip lasted for a very, very long time. The Genius Battles arena battles had 4 rounds. On the day of LuoFeng and Rong Jun's battle, a total of 625 victors were chosen. As for the other 9,375 participants that were placed in the losers group, after resting for 3 days, they would begin the high-intensity battles. Everyone had to battle 9,374 times, just to fight for the 275 slots. Earth, Jiangnan headquarters city, Yangzhou city. Big brother has left. LuoFeng sat on the balcony of his own castle, lying there alone holding a cup of tea. He's gone into the universe to follow the time sector lord, wandering. His mind was still clearly filled with the scenes from the past, his ears still resounded with the three's laughter and vows from yesterday. A few thousand years later, or even tens of thousands of years later, us 3 brothers will compete again. Right, compete again. Let's compete, who's afraid of who? This was a brother's vow. Whether it was Hong, Thunder God or LuoFeng, they were all walking on this path towards the pinnacle of life. And this path was filled with obstacles and dangers, one mistake and one would fall. Peng? LuoFeng put down his wine cup, his eyes gleaming. Big brother, you work hard, I won't slack off either. Babada, enter the virtual universe. LuoFeng sent a thread of his consciousness into the virtual universe, in terms of consciousness strength. The universe-level golden horn beast consciousness was completely capable of sending a thread into the virtual universe, while still remaining conscious in reality. Virtual universe, killing fields within the killing field space. This was a vast space. LuoFeng stood in space. Waha. The demon Babada jumped and shouted, LuoFeng, the arena battles have just ended. You have 3 days to rest. On the first day of rest you've come to the killing fields, you're really hardworking. Tell me, what kind of opponent do you want? I'll help you settle them all. I love training you the most. I want a spirit weapon. LuoFeng emphasized, A spirit weapon that specializes in flying, it has to be good at dodging and maneuvering in a small area. During the battle with Savage Rong Jun, he clearly felt that against the opponent's speed, his own agility was too weak. "Ah, you've discovered a weakness?" The demon Babata rubbed his chin, floating in the air and looking at LuoFeng. "LuoFeng, do you want to look at the long term or the short term?" "Long term? Short term?" LuoFeng creased his eyebrows. The little demon nodded. "Right, the short term is to think of ways to increase your agility to the maximum. You only need 10 days to half a month. As for the long term, that'll be from the basics one step at a time. At the same time you have to choose a spirit weapon that will accompany you for a very very long time." "Long term?" LuoFeng emphasized. "I don't lack time." "Very good." The little demon snapped his fingers, slightly raising his head. "Your choice is very wise. Then the flying spirit weapon I've chosen for you will be the most suitable for the gold and space origin laws, a level 5 spirit weapon, the Dark Cloud Shuttle." The little demon smiled. "Of course at the start, you probably won't be able to match up to the soaring shuttle's effect. However, there's no rush, I'll train you well." "How long will it take for my agility to increase greatly?" LuoFeng asked. "Depends on your comprehension." The little demon said, "The higher your comprehension, the faster your comprehension of the origin laws. With my series of training, I estimate you'll pass in about a year. If your comprehension is weak, and you don't work hard enough, even 100 years won't be enough." "Series of training?" LuoFeng creased his eyebrows. "Hee hee." The little demon grinned. "Slowly, we have plenty of time, I'll train you well." From year 2066 onwards, the high-intensity losers' circle battles began. Even though it was called high-intensity, in truth there were only 10 battles a day. With LuoFeng's speed he could finish a battle within a minute. Hence, the daily losers' circle battles to the other competitors, it might be mentally draining. However, to LuoFeng it was very easy. After all, he was one of the top 10 geniuses in the Ganwu universe country. As for the losers group, including himself, there were a total of 49 who had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. Amongst them there were only 2 who could match up to LuoFeng. The losers' circle battles were very easy, and it actually became a place for LuoFeng to experiment with his own battle techniques. Within the killing fields. This was a large grass plain. However, at this time the sky above the grass plain was filled with countless blood birds flying towards LuoFeng. "Dodge. Dodge. Don't touch them." "Damn quick, I have to be quick. This test, there's a possibility of getting full marks." The little demon roared. And LuoFeng stood on a black peculiar shuttle spirit weapon. This dark cloud shuttle even naturally extended out black membranes, directly wrapping around LuoFeng's boots. LuoFeng's entire body had already become a blurry blur, constantly dodging the countless blood birds that covered the sky and land. Chi, 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 chi. Every time a blood bird touched him, he would be continuously hit. Every time he was hit 3 times. All the blood birds vanished. "You failed again." The little demon's red eyes stared at LuoFeng, roaring angrily. "Continue with the basic training. I've never seen someone as stupid as you." With a wave of his hand, immediately the surrounding grass plain vanished, becoming a huge machine factory. Within it were many complicated machines. "Begin." LuoFeng was very calm, almost as though the little demon Babata's words didn't affect him at all. Under the demon Babata's hellish training, LuoFeng's entire being became even crazier. The little demon also went from being an idiot at the start to being average, still very weak, and later to being barely not bad. As for the golden horned beast, it spent all of its energy on deities of the world, absolute space and the comprehension of the origin laws of gold. Just like that. Time passed, the losers' circle battles didn't seem to consume much of LuoFeng's energy, instead becoming a place for him to experiment with his own strength. And Babata's hellish training, on the other hand, seemed to consume all of LuoFeng's energy every day. Time continued to flow. Even a being that completely grasped the time origin laws might be able to pause time or even rewind it for a short period of time. However, the universe itself had the ability to automatically adjust and return to normal. No matter how powerful a being was, he wouldn't be able to forcefully distort such a vast universe. The broadcast of the Loser's Circle was like a television series that kept on playing. After all, there were over 9,000 participants. It was inevitable that some special circumstances would occur, causing the battles to drag on for a few days. China year 2069, March 2nd, the last day of the Loser's Circle. Virtual Universe, Ganwu Continent's floating island. Within that huge building's elegant guest room. An old man dressed in a plain white robe stood there, bowing slightly. Blade God official. Beside him stood an elite man dressed in golden armor. His face was covered in golden scales. His forehead was slightly curved, a golden horn that looked like a crescent blade. His entire being was like a golden blade that could split the heavens and earth. Even in the virtual universe, the pressure of his consciousness was enough to cause a universe-level warrior's consciousness to crumble. If LuoFeng saw this person, he would definitely be shocked. He looked so much like Baikalluo, only his scales have changed from green to gold. "This is the LuoFeng you were talking about?" The gold-armored man looked at the screen. The screen was broadcasting a battle that was about to happen. "Yes. Today is the last day of the Loser's Circle, and this battle should be the most exciting battle of the last day." The old man dressed in a plain white robe smiled. "Ah, you introducing him, you mean, this punk has the right to charge into the universe's top 1,000? The gold-armored man asked. "Blade God official, watch and you'll know." the white-robed old man said. On the screen, dressed in a dark gray armor and carrying a dark golden long rod on his back, LuoFeng immediately clashed with a short youth wielding two blades. Rumble. The short youth charged forward like lightning, immediately reaching before LuoFeng. However, LuoFeng's expression was cold as he stood on the dark cloud shuttle. Golden energy revolved around it, immediately becoming a golden light that easily dodged the attack. Go! Rumble. A golden illusory sword appeared in mid-air. Its speed soared in the golden airflow, and it instantly bombarded the short young man. The short young man growled and a green airflow burst out of his body. He brandished his two sabers, and it was as if he had turned into a monstrous wave to meet the golden sword rainbow. Chi. As the golden sword aura approached, it made an almost perfect S-shaped trajectory, brushing past the edge of the opponent's saber and cutting off his head. LuoFeng victory. In the reception room. How is it? The white-robed old man smiled. Not bad at all. The gold-armored man nodded. This kid has already grasped the essence of a spirit reader controller. He's stepping on the level 5 spirit weapon Dark Cloud Shuttle, yet using it so effortlessly and perfectly. Moreover, when he dodges, his explosive burst is extremely fast and it seems very easy. That Nan Shen Armament is infused with the comprehension of the origin laws of metal. It is extremely young and unyielding. Usually they could only barely change their direction. However, he was actually able to make the Nan Shen Armament easily form an S-shape within such a short distance. The first layer, illusory sword form, has already reached the large success stage. His fundamentals are extremely good. The gold-armored man nodded, after which he creased his eyebrows. However, based on his strength, I estimate he'll at most make it to rank 3000 to 5000 in the universe rankings. 1008 universe countries, 1,000,000 absolute geniuses gathered. To make it to the top 1000 was simply too difficult. Ha! Take a look at this. The white-robed old man pointed at the screen, swiftly pulling up the scene of LuoFeng and Rong Jun's battle from back then. Rong Jun? I've heard of him. I heard he's the most exceptional in your Ganwu universe country. The gold-armored man watched and watched. Only after he finished did he say softly, this Rong Jun is very strong, however with his strength, he has no hope of getting number 1. He still has a chance of making it to the universe top 10. No hope at all? The white-robed old man was shocked. There's an absolute genius in this year's competition. The gold-armored man couldn't help but exclaim. He's even stronger than the past number 1 of the genius battles. His comprehension of the space laws has surpassed most sector lords. Ah. The white-robed old man was shocked. As for this LuoFeng, I know why you let me watch this video. The gold-armored man exclaimed, it really surprises me. Compared to Rong Jun, flying and dodging is obviously very taxing. His control is very rough too. He's purely relying on spirit energy to forcefully control the direction. And watching the replay earlier, his control of the Dark Cloud Shuttle is already very perfect. His control of the Nan Shen Armament, his improvement is shocking too. His comprehension of the origin laws should have improved by quite a bit. Right. How long did your Ganwu universe country's internal selection last? The gold-armored man asked. Not even 3 years. The white-robed old man said. Not even 3 years? The gold-armored man couldn't help but say, this LuoFeng, did he hide his strength during his battle with Rong Jun? No, he went through 9,374 battles, match after match. His improvement is very obvious. The white-robed old man exclaimed, before the battles he was at most within the top 10 of our Ganwu universe country. However, in less than 3 years, I'm afraid only Rong Jun can suppress him now. Many of our Ganwu secret region undyings are paying attention to him. His improvement speed is too shocking. And in the battles his opponents aren't considered strong, hence they can't force him to unleash his full strength. I even suspect his strength is even stronger than what he's displaying now. The white-robed old man said, and there's still a long time before the pinnacle battles, he can still continue to improve. The gold-armored man smiled. If he continues to improve, when the pinnacle battles of the 1008 universe countries come, he might have a chance to make it into the top 1000, however it'll still be very difficult. When the two undyings from the Ganwu secret region and virtual universe company were discussing LuoFeng arrived at the preparation hall of dojo number 00001. Within the preparation hall. He's LuoFeng. This LuoFeng, how did he improve so quickly? The teachers in the secret region all said that LuoFeng is currently ranked number 2 amongst our universe country geniuses. When the dark gray armored black short-haired youth appeared in the preparation hall, it immediately caused a round of discussion. During these 3 years of the battles, LuoFeng's shocking improvement speed had attracted the gazes of many warriors. Madman. A thick and powerful voice resounded. LuoFeng turned to look. It was the one-story-tall savage Rong Jun. That savage's hair was still messy and his feet were bare. Savage. LuoFeng shouted. Ha ha. Savage laughed loudly. A smile appeared on LuoFeng's face too. The two of them had always called each other by name before, suddenly calling each other by nickname. That was a joke. LuoFeng, your improvement is really huge. You haven't slacked at all these 3 years. Savage was very impressed with LuoFeng. No matter how strong a genius was, it was only because of his high talent. If he didn't work hard he would still be eliminated. LuoFeng's improvement so much. One could imagine how hard he had been working behind the scenes. I don't dare slack off. LuoFeng shook his head. With you at the front, how would I dare slack off? Attention all. Enter the dojo. The Virtual Universe Company's organizer shouted. Immediately 1,000 geniuses followed the pathway and entered the dojo. Today there were no spectators in the dojo. 1,000 absolute geniuses from the various galaxies of the Ganwu universe country stood there, looking at the giant before them. Standing before the 1,000 most exceptional geniuses of the universe country, the giant was at least 8 m tall. Savage Rong Jun beside him was like a little doll. This giant was dressed in a scale armor, wearing a helmet, his entire being emitted a bloodthirsty energy. His eyes were like the gaze of a death god enveloping the group of geniuses. Holding their breaths. The 1,000 geniuses all had beads of sweat on their foreheads. In the virtual universe, just one's consciousness is this terrifying? LuoFeng couldn't control the nervousness of his body, his forehead naturally beaded with sweat. Under this pressure, his forehead beaded with sweat was already a reflex mechanism of his body. Congratulations all of you. A cold voice resounded within the dojo. The 1,000 of you are the most exceptional in our Ganwu universe country. You all have the right to represent our universe country, competing with the geniuses from the other universe countries. However, this pinnacle battle, the difficulty is much higher than your previous battles. 1,008 universe countries, some of them are even bigger than our Ganwu universe country with many more galaxies. Because each universe country situation is different, the internal selection time is different too. Hence, the entire universe humanity, the genius pinnacle battle, will only truly begin after 1.5 years. This 1.5 years is your chance to improve. LuoFeng returned to the Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-star Bay Little District. It's over. The losers' battles are over. LuoFeng exclaimed. The losers' battles are over, however your training hasn't. The fist-sized little demon on his shoulder shouted, LuoFeng, your Nan Shen Armament can only unleash 5 golden blades at once under such a desperate situation, and it's still very difficult. Unleashing 3 golden blades will be the most powerful. One person could barely wield a 100 kilograms blade. However, when he wielded a 30 kilograms blade, his attack power was actually the strongest. One theory. Each of the 5 golden illusory swords became clumsy and unwieldy. Understood. LuoFeng nodded and smiled. Thinking back to these 3 years, indeed his improvement had shocked many. In truth, back when he participated in the elimination, the Golden Horn Beast had only been at the universe level for 2 years. Which meant, the 5-level domains and stepping into the Gold Origin Laws were results from 2064 to 2066. And now that 3 years had passed, it wasn't strange for his results to be high. My second body is close to being nurtured. LuoFeng was anticipating the birth of his second body, the Masha clansman.